This week on Two Wheels Better, a bike in a bubble, a bike in a box, boys with their welding toys, and Nicky Fox scooter racing. First, Jeff Stone.
Hi and welcome to Two Wheels Better from my winter Cocoon. This is the only way to travel if you don't like getting wet and cold. Well, I'm out of the Cocoon now and still intact, and so is this bike behind me. Eric, very impressive piece of kit, and I even survived that little piece inside it. You've got a beautiful bike in there, but is there a big demand for such devices?
Yes, I think with the classic bikes, certainly, and with bikes that people only use through the summer, the winter storage can be a problem, and the bike bubble, as it's called, is the ideal thing.
Yeah, this whole sort of Cocoon, I keep calling it Cocoon because they make ones for cars as well, aren't they? Which are called the Carcoon, is that right?
That's right, they call the car one the Carcoon and the bike one a bike bubble.
Yeah, oh well, I mean, you can't win them all, can you? Yeah. Now, it's got a little 12-volt fan on the back, and that runs all of the time. You plug it into the mains with a little transformer, so that's very low energy consumption.
Yeah, it costs around 7p a week to run, actually, and it's permanently inflated. Air's constantly running through it, so it keeps the bike perfectly dry.
Well, we've unzipped the bubble, which must have taken all of 30 seconds, 35 seconds at the very most. But what I didn't ask Eric, how much are they, Eric?
£252.
Oh, well, not too bad, really. To protect your investment.
Oh, yeah, it's certainly a good investment.
And talking about investment, you've got this beautiful Honda CB750, one of the early ones. Tell us a little bit about this one, because I know you've had it a while, or had it a while, lost it, and brought it back again.
Well, this is a 1969 model, which is the year that these bikes were introduced. I first bought this in about 1973, and at that time it was the earliest one that I could find to restore. So I bought it in about 73.
I'll tell you, when you say restore, has it already been got at then?
It had, yes. These were one of the first bikes that people took the exhaust off, put 4-into-1s, racing seats and fairings, and it was the only one that was actually in a concourse condition. And was obviously noticed in all the shows and exhibitions. Honda used it for advertising when they relaunched the CB750 name. So they had the original CB750 with the 90s version.
Did you have any trouble in those days getting the necessary parts for it, or was it sort of fairly off-the-shelf stuff? No,
it wasn't off the shelf. In those days, the vintage Japanese scene that there is today wasn't around, so I really had to go all over Europe for parts, really. One particular thing that I needed to finish the bike, which was an oil tank sticker. And I had a few of these bikes, and one of the old side panels had a sticker on it. So the only way I could get a sticker was to have it reproduced from a side panel.
Was that one of the ones that gave you all the specification for the oil?
That's right. But to get one made, I had to have 200, and I've still got some of those left today. After doing all the shows, winning the shows and doing the rounds, I sold it, and I always regretted selling it. And I sold it to a collector in England, who then sold it on to a collector in Germany. And I thought, well, that's it, it's gone forever. And a couple of years ago, I got a call from a friend that I knew from the days of doing the exhibitions. And he told me that my bike, that it was always referred as my bike, was for sale in Sotheby's. And I actually bought it back over the phone at Sotheby's a couple of years ago. So now it's not going anywhere, it's going to stay in a bike bubble.
The swinging 60s, the heyday of the mods with their loafers, wing mirror collections, and of course the compulsory parka. But where are they now? Scooter racing has been around in Britain for 30 years, it's a popular spectator sport in Italy, and some of today's motorcycle Grand Prix champions would have started their competitive careers on Vespas and Lambrettas. And if the thought of a vehicle originally designed as a shopping convenience for Italian grannies charging around a race circuit seems a bit silly to the uninitiated, beware. These competitors take it very seriously.
Like we've got a bit of flame on the rear wheel bearings, I think. We make just about everything ourselves. Scooter parts are readily available just about anywhere, and they're cheap to buy. It's a home-built engine, using a lot of motorcycle special parts for reliability, and it's capable of putting out about 32 brake horsepower, possibly more, so it doesn't half go some. We just about make everything, Paul and I, you know, we do just about anything and everything.
Now you're one of the organisers here at the Three Sisters Circuit in Wigan today.
Yeah.
What can we expect to see this afternoon?
Well, you'll see some exciting racing for a start. You'll see classes for standard scooters, obviously tuned, and you'll see what we call the special scooters, which are machines that have got all the bodywork chopped off, the engines are highly modified, slightly similar to the sidecars, and then we've another class for automatics, which are the twist and go bikes that are on the road nowadays, and they're plentiful. And then we've got our smaller sidecar class, which is the Formula 90s. They're basically a Honda 90 engine grafted into a sidecar chassis. And then there's the sidecars themselves, so we've got quite a broad range of classes, you know, and there's a lot going on. Everybody seems to think that we're like the mods of the 60s with lights and mirrors. You know, you race a scooter and you've got lights and mirrors. It's a load of rubbish. I mean, it's not like that. You know, we're grown men doing a very professional thing in a professional sport.
But go on, were you a mod once?
Was I a mod, Paul?
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose I was, yeah.
This year saw the 50th anniversary of the Vespa, and UK sales of scooters are on the up. Now, is it because they're cheap to buy and run, easy to park, or is it because they're trendy?
I'm just addicted. Since 17, I've been addicted since 17.
It's like a time warp, you know, going back to the 70s.
I wouldn't like the trendy business. I mean, for the 70s I've been into scooters, so to me they're just part of my life.
It's always going to be the hardcore scooter race, and at the end of the day the trendy ones are going to fall off and we'll still all be there.
Most racing enthusiasts got involved after buying a scooter for transport, many back in the 60s. But some were motorcycle riders who changed to this sport to cut down on costs. You can get yourself a relatively standard Lambretta for £400 or £500, spend the same amount on an engine and you've got yourself a competitive machine. If you want to go the whole hog, you can get yourself a sidecar combo as well. Fascinating me about today is the sidecars. I thought they'd be a piece bolted onto the side of a Lambretta.
Right, well, in the beginning, and around 1971, they were actually bolted onto a solo scooter. Then they started cutting the frames and they brought in aspects of safety, you know, basically brazed up. These things now are really Formula 2 motorcycle outfits, all the ones you can see here today. And because of increased cornering speeds and people wanting to go fast, it became lower and lower and lower. Until we've got to the point now where we're using 13-inch wheels and chain drive. So you're going faster and faster around the corners.
But tell me the truth, didn't you originally wear a parker on a scooter?
Yes, I did.
You did? So you were a real mod, were you?
Yes, and a piece of fur at the back that got wet in the rain and smelt horribly.
Well, congratulations, Peter. What's that then, the Group 4 champion?
Yeah, it's only taken me 14 years to get there.
That must be a very sweet victory then.
It is, because a lot of the competitors around us, they're hard to beat on the best of days.
But you don't only compete, you also sell scooters as well, don't you?
Yes, it was a hobby. When I was 21, I took a career change, really. And from then on, I've just been involved with scooters.
Have they changed over the years?
Well, from the scooter from the 60s, which has always been associated with a mod, to today's machine, which are automatics, which are far easier to ride, cleaner, more reliable.
Could someone like me, who's never ridden a scooter before, and who's rather inspired by your victory, just get on one of those and go?
I should fully think so, yes.
Yeah. Can we give this a go?
Yeah, yeah. You can ride a push bike, you can ride one of these.
Oh, I can do that. All right,
no
let's
problem.
give it a go. They say you never forget how to ride a bike. You don't, but then I always did do it very slowly and very carefully. Whoa, there's a lot of poke in there. Now, back in the days of quadrophenia, the rockers would sneer at the mods and call their scooters hairdryers, but they didn't know the half of it. These things are brilliant fun, and they're a lot more vicious than they look.
This is a motorcycle showroom. This is a place where we've all been, spent many happy hours. You can come in here, you can look at the nice shiny bikes, sit on the bikes, play with them, maybe chat the dealer up and get a test ride if you're lucky. But the bikes, well, before they came here, all nice and polished, do you know where they started? come and have a look at this. Now this is the bit that you don't see very often unless you're very lucky. And this is my mate Hugh Robinson from Robinson's Motorcycles. Hugh, this is a bike in a box, is it not?
Exactly.
Yeah. So this, where's this come from?
This has come from Germany via Harwich, as it says on the box here.
Yeah.
They're stored there and eventually sent up by lorry to us.
Right. So you've got to take this out now and basically build a bike.
Yeah, they come partly knocked down.
Yeah.
Mainly to reduce the size of the crate and also for safety reasons.
Right.
They are strapped in securely so that they don't get damaged.
Right. And do you get a full assembly instruction kit, or don't you need them anymore?
There are kits, but we've built enough of them now, I think, to not to need them.
Do you ever get any bits missing out of these?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
You get a bit missing, or occasionally you get a broken part. But
right.
BM are very good with getting the bits to us if we do get it.
So are we going to crack this open and see what we've got inside?
Coming now to knock the crate off from it, and then we'll start building it.
He's got a crowbar in his hand, Hugh.
Yeah, rumour has it is to try and get my wallet out.
Right. There's John. I'm going to stand back here. So what are we going to find in this box, Hugh?
It's a new BMW R1100 GS, which is the big trail bike with the 8-valve twin engine, 1100cc twin engine.
I don't trust him with this. I'm going to stand back. He's got a really mean look on his face with this crowbar. Ah, there's the bike. All wrapped up in cotton wool with the wheels off. So there's the crate, and Noisy John's banging hell out of it with his crowbar at the moment. It looks almost complete. I mean, the front wheel's off it, but it doesn't look a great deal of work to do, really.
It's a little bit more than you would think, actually. They're quite, there's quite a few bits to stick on it. And I suggest we probably come back to it in a few minutes when we're a bit nearer.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to get a little bit manual now, this work, and I was never any good at air fix kits, so I think I'll leave the lads to it, and we'll come back later.
Well, you may wonder what we're doing here with all these fancy bits and pieces. This is my friend Dave Mather, who's come to visit us. Special day out. And he's from Oldham Power Tool Centre. He just happens to sell just about everything there is. And one of the devices he sells is a welding torch to do plastic welding. Because the inevitable just might happen. You just might fall off your side stand with your lovely pride and joy and crack the side panels or maybe the fairing or knock the mirror off or whatever. And rather than buy a brand new panel which can cost the earth, Dave here can fix it. So come on Dave, how the flipping heck do you fix them?
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to open it all up, we're going to put a welding rod down it, and you'll never know it's been...
This isn't as in bright sparky weldings?
No, it's hot air.
And what does it do? Does it like just fuse the plastics together?
Yeah, you're just basically putting in another piece of plastic.
So go on then, give us a demo.
Okay.
What do you do first, mate?
First, what we've got to do is drill a hole here to stop the crack.
Drill it. I'll hand you this here drill.
Okay.
And I've got a use for that drill. It might just take me 3 years to use it, but I've got a use for that drill when you finish with it.
You're welcome to it.
Okay. Nice one. So what's the reason for drilling this hole then? Just to stop the crack?
Yeah, it's just to stop the crack going any further.
Right then. What next?
Now we've got to grind it.
Go on then, do it.
It's not plugged in. I was flying then, I felt alright then.
You're a natural, mate, you're a natural.
Is this the one?
That's the one.
I'll plug it in.
If you would.
Thank you.
Do you know, here's some use sometimes. Oh, it sounds like I'm at the dentist, for goodness sake. I'll tell you what, I'll hold this for you, mate.
Open wide, Wayne.
Yeah. Masterful. Right then, mate. Now we've ripped into that with your grinding device. What next?
Next is to get the hot air gun on it and throw a rod down it.
You get the kit together, you practice on some other broken bits and pieces you buy from the local scrapyard.
Oh yeah, car bumpers, mirrors, stuff like that.
So when we have a bit of misfortune in the car, break the plastic bumper, you can use the same equipment.
Yep, you become very popular.
I'm even more interested now, because just occasionally, only occasionally, I do seem to misjudge those bumpers, you know. So go on then, mate. Rig it up, let's have a go.
Okay. This one's on, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got our technician over there, Paul, assisting with the operation.
What we have to do now is set the temperature, let it warm up, and then we'll be ready to weld.
How long does this take about?
A couple of minutes.
Yeah. If you were to take a panel such as this to a body repairer, presumably he's going to be talking and expecting to charge about, I don't know, £100 or something?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
If you now weld this up, and then I take this to a paint repairer, you know, one of these guys that does all the fancy artworks and decorates the bikes, he could then repaint this in exactly the same guise for what would assumingly be, I don't know, 50, 60 quid. Yeah. Half in the price of the buying of a new panel.
It's got to be an awful lot cheaper.
Now, if that thing's warmed up, what's the next trick? What we're going to do now?
Well, all we've got to do now is get the rod in the hot air gun and apply it to the job.
Right. There's varying different grades of rod then, is there?
Yes, there is. There's lots of different ones, and you've got to really experiment to find out which is the right one.
And how do you do that? Is this what you were doing before on the inside?
Yeah, we were just seeing whether you could use that rod, and it was the right one first time.
Is that a calculated guess?
No.
It's a man of experience?
It's a man of experience in this case.
Excellent, and well impressed. Right then, let's go for the real thing now.
Okay.
So, is that how you have it?
Really, we want to turn it round so we can start this way.
Okay. Then.
Okay. Cut a rod to length.
If I happen to get in the way by any chance, just tell me. I'll actually ignore you because it is my shop.
Yeah.
It's my ball, and if we got, you know, I'll just take it in and I won't play with it. So then, I'm intrigued now. I'll hold this for you, mate.
You can see the weld filling up the gap. Yeah. Oh, it's pushing through. Oh dear.
Is this a problem?
This is a problem.
Oh, it looks good to me, does this? Looks good to me.
Okay. Now even that, in that state, is fixable because we've got more material in there. What we'll do, we'll clean that off, put another rod in it, sand it down, and you'll never know I've been there.
All right then, mate. I'm game. Right, do we snip this thing off now?
Yeah. Okay, so let that dry. I'll put another rod in and we'll be away.
Is this hot to touch? No, it's not. Oh, it would be.
It's just warm.
I'd scream now if it was stuck to my finger, wouldn't I? Yeah. You notice how I'm like a little kid, really. I like to play and mess about with things.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. All right, so how long do we have to wait now, mate?
Just give it 10 minutes, let it dry, and we'll put another rod in.
Time for a brew.
That's the job.
After 3 minutes work, I do like to stop and have a cup of tea.
Me too.
We'll go and have a brew.
Okay.
Right then, Dave, we've had a right nice brew. We have. Let's crack into action again, mate.
Okay.
What now?
Well, what we've got to do now is just put another layer on there where I got it not quite so right, and build it back up, sand it back down, and we should be done.
This problem you've had, I gather, is because of the size of the gap, and you've just got to keep filling it up until you build up enough material to rub it down, clean it up and paint it. Right then.
We've just got to put the same material back in, so all we've got to do is fill it up, really.
Okay, got you.
Yeah?
Go for it, mate.
Okay.
This is you just sizing a piece of rod then, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how much you use because you always leave a tail on. Okay. Very hot, that.
Very hot.
Very hot.
I'll keep my little pinkies away from it then.
Good.
And you just trim this off, do you, the wasted piece?
Yeah, just leave it.
Then I presume then, if we've had to, we don't want to go for another brew now and fill up. So the crack being is we would have to leave this to dry out, would we, cure or whatever it does.
Yeah.
Then presumably you get your grinder on the job, do you? Or what would you use now?
Well, what I would do is get my sander, take off the bulk of it, yeah?
Yep.
And then hand finish it.
Okay.
Okay, and then it's ready for primer. straight over the top.
But I gather we can't use this fancy. I wanted to have a go at that. That looks like a fancy piece of equipment. Can I just have a little go?
Oh yeah, but you can play with no.
All right then.
No,
okay.
you can play with it later.
Okay. Right. So we've rubbed that down, and then painting. Now then, there's some clever lads painting, isn't there? Because I happen to have one here that we made earlier, and this has been painted by a local body shop. Beautiful in there. I mean, that's just gorgeous. Better than original, isn't it? Really. But I just happen to know that this has actually been repaired. And you can't tell. I mean, where is it? I haven't got a clue. And I can actually show you on this fairing panel, because I was having a sneak preview earlier, where it's been repaired. I mean, this is as original on a ZX9R, isn't it?
Yeah.
But on the inside, where's this repaired? There we are. This has all been filled in.
Well, the lug's actually broken off there, so he's packed it all up, filled it up, much like we've done here. And it's ready, and it's really, really strong. That's stronger. If it's this fairing breaks again, it won't be there.
This is stronger than the original.
Yeah, because there's more material, and it's the same material.
Smart stuff. Well, look at that, shiny. Can't quite see the reflection to do my hair in this, but nonetheless. Sorry, mate. Okay, the painting though, the paintwork. Now that's a different kettle of fish. You just have to be a bit clever on doing the paintwork. And there's arty guys who do lots of artwork on the helmets and on the paintworks, and there's guys that can do the job as original. So what we're going to do in the future on Two Wheels Better is get this guy who's done this sort of paintwork, which is quite fantastic. He's going to take us around his paint shop and show us just how to create such styles as this.
Well, the lads have had round about an hour to get to work, and looking pretty good now, Hugh. We're nearly there, are we?
We're nearly there. Just got to put the brake calipers on, tighten up the front wheel spindle, and we've got another bike ready for the showroom.
Right, smashing. This is John again, busy at it, minus his crowbar this time, I'm glad to say. So what have you had to do on this, John? I mean,
basically, handlebars back on, mirrors on, screen on, extension mudguard on, the actual mudguard on, the front wheel in, brakes back on, belly pan on, oil it, fuel it, give it a right good wash off, because it's got there's like a preservative over all of it to keep it all nice and untapped.
Well, I'm not going to stop you working because the gaffer's here now, so you crack on and get the front wheel finished. And do we have to test ride these things when we've done these, Hugh?
Yeah, before the customer gets his hands on them, we do make sure that everything's okay.
Right. So is there any chance of, you know?
Unfortunately, again, we've got somebody picking it up this afternoon.
Don't be,
but I will find you one to ride at some stage.
Smashing. Well, there you go. John's just about finished the front wheel. Calipers are going on now. And, well, maybe another day I'll get to have a go on one of these. One day.